Are you constantly losing on trades? Can you not seem to turn a profit? Are you the one who's always late to a pump? Well, today I'm going to be showing you 3 ways on how not to miss out on great trading opportunities. There are 3 ways that you can avoid missing out on opportunities. The first of which is know when to buy. Now, there are a couple of different ways to know when to buy, and I will be going over 2 major ways, and these are actually ways I use. The first way you can know when to buy is support and resistance. What do I mean by this? Well, we're going to be using Bitcoin, which is the most popular coin, the coin with the highest market cap. So, looking at Bitcoin, you want to trade from the candle view to the line view. Now, looking at the line view, there may be something that sticks out to you, and there may not be, but I'm going to show you. So, you see here right on this yellow line, this golden line called the golden ratio, this is a line where Bitcoin seems to bounce off of. Once it hits this line, it seems to go up towards the top or up towards making you profit, and it has a very bullish run after hitting this line right here. So that is what we would call a support line. A support line means that when it hits this line, it goes up. It generally does not go past this line. Now, it may go slightly past the line and it may not. You can see here that our support line is at $92,000 and almost perfectly it always touches it. But if you look a little to the left over here, it actually goes a little under and then pushes up. That's no big deal. Now we're looking for our resistance line. Okay, what's a resistance line? A resistance line is the line that we would draw on the top of the market, showing that when it hits this line, it likes to go down. Well, you can see here that that's around $100,000. Once it hits $100,000, you can see here it topped at $100,000, $99,000, very close, especially in regards to the fact that Bitcoin is $99,000. So $100,000, $99,000, that's where your resistance would be, which means that when it's in between this support down here and this resistance right here, that's how you know when it's headed down towards the bottom, buy the bottom, and as it's headed towards the top, sell the top. That is a very simple way of doing it. Now, you may notice all these fancy lines down here on my chart, and that is actually called the Fibonacci tool. Now, the Fibonacci retracement tool here on TradingView, you simply just go over to the left, and it's this one right here that my mouse is over. That, as you can see here, it calls it the Fib retracement tool. Now, you want to click down here on the bottom, swing low, drag it up to the swing high, and this gives you your zone. Now, the golden ratio is the prime zone. It is the ultimate support and resistance, meaning going up, it is hard to hit the golden ratio. It is a strong resistance level, meaning it always wants to be pushing down. But once you break it and close, meaning you break above it, come down, use it as support and then go up, then it becomes a strong support level. It does not want to break under, and if it does not want to stay under. And you can see here that it's used it as a strong support. It's broken up above it and it just keeps bouncing off of it. So when would I personally buy Bitcoin next? Well, because of how large of a support and resistance level we have, you can see our support is here down at 92,000 and our resistance is really here at $105,000, or if you want to be safer, at $102,000, $100,000 range. So looking at Bitcoin is at that $100,000 range, I would personally wait. I'd wait to buy until it comes closer down to this $92,000. Now, when buying, there's a strategy you want to implement called DCA, or dollar cost average. What that means is if you have $10, you don't put all 10 in at once. You would put $1 in at a time. Why is that? Because pick any time here and go forward or go backward 10 candles, and you can see how big the difference is and when you would buy, which means that your average price is not the top, it's not the bottom, it's right in the middle. And it's perfect for getting in and buying so that you actually see profits later down the road, so that you get that average price, dollar cost average. So now that you know when to buy, how do you know when to sell? How do you know when there are profits? When should I take them? When should I not take them? Will there just be more profits? So that's the second reason. That's the second point we're going to look at is know when to sell. So just like you know when to buy, you can use a lot of the same tools to know when to sell. The Fibonacci retracement tool is perfect. Looking from swing low to swing high, as of now, would we sell? Well, we might want to consider selling off a little bit if we bought down here. Maybe take off 10% of your profits as it starts going down, and it all depends on your timeline to how much profits you take. Are you looking for that quick pump to where you put in $60, it turns to $67, turns to 80, turns to 120, a 2x, and then you sell it all? Or are you looking to just take the profits, turns to $80, you take $20 of profits rather than the full and leave your initial investment, the $60 in? It all depends on your trading strategy. But for me, what I would do is if I bought right down here at $92,000, as it goes up, I take profits. What I mean by this is if it goes up to say I put in $100 and it goes up to $110, well then I take $5 profit, and then it keeps going. Now it's $120. Okay, well, I may take $10 profit, and then it goes up to $140. Okay, I'll take $30 profit. And you can see here by slowly taking profits, I make sure that I have an investment in the market still, so I can still be making money, but I make sure that I'm not losing out on any gains as well. I take profits as I see them. Now, this can become harder to see in some of these markets, like, for example, Dogecoin. Let's say you bought in right here and it started to go up, and now that you bought in right down here at 32 cents, goes up to 41 cents, and you took only $5 of profit, but you're in $60 of profit, okay? And let's say it starts to go down and it keeps going down and it keeps going down, and then you start to see you're broke even. At this point, well, technically it's down to 32, 31, So you're broke even or even a little bit under what your investment is. How do you know when to sell and when to keep buying? Well, one thing as a trader you really got to pay attention to is not to get in the trap mindset of missing out. No FOMO. You cannot have any FOMO, fear of missing out, in trading. The reason I say this is once it gets to the $41 where you're broke even or even a little under, that's when you make the decision. How much am I willing to risk? Am I willing to risk a negative $10 and that's when I cut it, sell? Or am I not wanting to see any negative at all? That once it gets into my exact even profit, that's when I just sell it all and wait for the market to look a little bit better. Now, selling off and a loss is not as bad as people say. Now, it sounds bad. Hey, I sold for a loss. I actually paid money to lose money. That sounds like a bad idea. But it's not when you know when to buy. And that's why I put buying before selling, because you should not be scared of selling if you know when to buy, because you may lose $100 and then actually end up making $20,000 because you sold, cut your losses, watched it drop even farther, bought, and then it shot up higher. So don't be afraid of selling for a loss. The third and final point of how to not be missing out on these trades, how to not miss opportunities, is know what narrative is pumping. What do I mean by this? Well, there are many different narratives, especially in meme coins, but people think that narratives just stick to meme coins. Are we just talking about dog meme coins, cat meme coins, AI meme coins? Trump coins, celebrity coins. So what's the narrative that's pumping? And yes, there's very, very defined narratives and meme coins, but there's also narratives in these main coins. There's a lot of AI coins that do well. Not just that, Bitcoin itself is a narrative. What do I mean by this? Well, there are times when Bitcoin tends to be pumping because the president of the United States, specifically Donald Trump, he will sometimes mention a crypto. He will mention Bitcoin. He'll say he's pro crypto, and nothing's more pro crypto than Bitcoin. Let's be honest. When you buy Bitcoin, you're basically buying the entire market because when Bitcoin goes up, they all go up. When Bitcoin goes down, they all go down. Of course, maybe not as severely, but you're catching all the moves. Now, another very specific narrative is Dogecoin. Why do I say Dogecoin? Well, Dogecoin is a specific narrative because Elon Musk is in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency here in the US. Now, the acronym they chose for the Department of Government Efficiency is, you named it, Doge. He's always talking about Dogecoin. So you'll see that he actually will put out a tweet and Dogecoin pumps. He will talk bad about Dogecoin and it drops a little. He will talk good and it pumps. You gotta stay informed in order to not be missing out. And one great way to be doing that is through social media. Why do I say this? I say this because everybody's always looking to get popular. And how do you get popular? By staying relevant. How do you stay relevant? By sharing information. So people are always sharing the information of what they're finding, what coins are pumping, what news they've heard that might lead to a certain coin pumping. Of course, take all of this with a grain of salt, look at the charts, but that is a good way to know. You may hear, okay, Elon Musk wants to use a certain coin to back a certain product he's trying to sell. Now you do a little digging and you start hearing 1, 2, 3, 5, 100, 1,000. You find a whole fan page about it. Okay, it's probably on the truer side. Maybe a dollar cost average into it. Turns out to be true, you make the pump. That is what happened with the Trump coin. Many people heard about a Trump coin. They didn't believe it. Some did. They thought, okay, this could be Trump's official coin. Let me dollar cost average into it, see what happens. It pumped and they made money. Now, the ones who didn't believe it, the ones who were waiting for the pump and then buying in, those are the ones who lost money. One thing you gotta always remember is the loss is greater to the loser than the win is to the winner. So, be careful about buying the tops, buying the narrative that is super hype right now, because you may have a significant loss, which would be greater than if you actually got gains. So what have we seen in today's video? We've seen 3 things. I've taught you how to know when to sell. I've taught you how to know when to buy. First of all, very important, you know when to buy before you know the second point, how to know when to sell. And to couple all that, to know when to do this, is know the narrative that is pumping. So what you should have learned today is know when to buy, know when to sell, and know what to buy. All that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow.